Hey everybody, we doing okay today? Good.
Obviously, didn't have the best first three quarters, but fourth quarter just came up with some cuts plays. What was the difference with your group there?
I like the way we started the game.
Yeah.
You know, the first drive and the last drive were the highlights for us. You know, in the middle was a little bit, you know, was it good enough? You know, obviously frustrating and disappointing that we didn't stay on the field more. I think we had three and outs and a 4 and out in the middle of the contest, which, you know, we ended up having 9 possessions during the game, which was probably the lowest number I think I've ever been associated with. But we wanted some of that, a lot of that was intentionality. You know, we wanted to control the clock the best we could. Obviously, not staying on the field didn't allow us to close the clock, but we certainly did in the fourth quarter, so we celebrated that, you know, and obviously our defense was fantastic and a complete team effort. But, you know, obviously some things to clean up, but our guys played really hard, and it was, after watching the film, I was much more encouraged. You know, obviously I was incredibly encouraged after the game that we won and the way listen, our job is to score 1 more point than the other team, period, end of story. Always has been, always will be. And we were thrilled about that. But, you know, as the offensive coordinator, my job is to be in charge of the offense, and I wanted to, you know, I didn't like the way we played at times during the middle of the game, obviously, but I went back and watched the film again, and I saw some really signs of growth, some strong signs of growth, and some encouragement there that we weren't very far off from having a really good day. But, you know, we didn't make that happen, and that's going to be our goal moving forward.
It seems like the first couple of games, the opponent's been scheming to stop the run a little bit. How much has in-game adjustments been part of some of the success that you've had? Well,
I think obviously the new tools that you have access to, you can see things a little bit clearer than you have before as far as actually seeing the video. You know, I think our staff is doing a good job of communicating. I think honestly during the course of the game, I think I was surprised by the pressure that we became under as far as just the blitzing, you know, by Kansas. And obviously, you know, one of the things that helped us is we started throwing the ball a little bit more, and our guys on the perimeter made some really nice plays, and just probably got a little bit too not committed, but just running into disadvantage or looks that don't have advantage looks for us, you know, with the pressures, and we were really close to breaking some of those. We just couldn't do it and put us behind the chains. But certainly in any game adjustments are huge, and I felt like we made some of those last week that help us. It's something we got to do moving forward.
Barry, Brett mentioned it after the game, but there's analytical data right now, but through 2 weeks, I know it's just 2 weeks, but Luke is one of the more efficient downfield throwers and on long balls over 20 yards in the country.
Yeah.
Have you seen a major difference in what he's been able to do this year on a deep ball?
Not a major difference. I think that's a strength of his. I think he's an extremely accurate passer, particularly downfield, and the guys are making plays. I mean, contested, tough catches. You know, that we've got a lot of confidence in our guys. That's got to be a formula for success for us. Something I believe in greatly is, you know, obviously we want to run the football when the box gets loaded. The easiest access to explosive plays is when you have one-on-one on the perimeter, and to be able to throw a ball accurately with the rhythm and the timing that he did, I think has been really impressive. I think that's a gift of his, and we got to continue to use that as a weapon.
Why do you think the deep passing game has maybe improved in 2024, you know, compared to last year?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's just through 2 games. We've just, to be honest with you, when the ball's gone up, we've owned it. I mean, you look at Pat's plays 2 weeks ago, and then the other night, phenomenal play. Zakari made a phenomenal catch. Malik against Eastern, you know, so. You know, obviously, when it's the players. You know, it's the players making the play. I mean, it's ball placement and going to catch the ball, and that's something that, you know, that we believe in. We practice a lot, and it's showing up in games in a great way. And it's got to be there for us to be effective offensively.
Are you seeing on some of those inside running plays that you're struggling to maybe string chunk plays together on those?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough sledding in there. I think Kansas is a really good defense. You know, they're very well coached, and you know, they moved some guys and brought some pressures at times that, you know, got us clipped us, or, you know, not clipped us, but, you know, made the tackle, shoestring tackle, and that we were really close to breaking a long run. And you know, there's a lot of people in the box, and our guys played really physical. I thought Kansas played really physical. And so, you know, we had a lot of really good 4 or 5 yard runs. We were physical, and you know, we got able to get, you know, a manageable situation in 3rd down. To me, that was the biggest thing for us. Is the biggest disappointment I had in looking back in the game is we had a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 3, and a 3rd and 5 we didn't convert, and those led to, you know, 3 and outs. You know, you look back on all of them and reflect on, how could we have done what we've done differently. You know, there was a call, you know, maybe that I would have liked to had back, and the execution wasn't as well, it wasn't executed as well. But those are the critical factors. Is like, you know, if we run a run for 4 yards or 3 yards, that's fine. You know, it's when we get to third down and manageable, we got to be able to convert, and those should be advantage offense. When you're in 2 and 3 and 4, you know, third and 7 to 10, those are advantage defense, just statistically speaking. And we didn't capitalize on those moments where it was in our corner, and that led to us being taken off the field. So it all kind of pieces together, you know. So obviously we want a 2-yard run to be a 4 and a 4 to be a 6, and it's the life of business. And you know, when you're playing a really good defense and a really good opponent, you're not just going to run right over them. And but we have to figure out more ways and continue to improve upon our running game and our efficiency there, as far as creating, you know, more opportunities to have more explosive plays in the running game.
Usually
Had maybe the most important yards on the ground in the fourth quarter. What had given you confidence that he was ready for that moment?
I'm sorry, did you say Khalil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the way he practices, the way he's grown every week. I mean, he's been, you know, he's just, he's a natural football player. He figures it out, he cares, and he's talented. And those are all good qualities. And so we had a lot of faith in him. I think Thad was, you know, obviously his position coach sees it on a daily basis. I think our whole team sees it. Our coaching staff says, Thad said, hey, I'm going to roll with him. Let's do it. And I think it was a great, it was good timing for us, and that gave us a little different feel during the game, and Khalil did a great job for us.
You've put Whitenack and Henderson got into the game a little bit. What are you looking for those guys in the interior, and what's just key for that interior offensive line moving forward?
Yeah, we're just always trying to, just like we do at receivers, you know, like and running backs, and done it at quarterback before. Just trying to figure out who the most consistent, you know, presently, you know, executing, you know, the guys that are currently executing their assignment, no matter what position they are. And so we were just trying to give our guys some other opportunities there at, you know, at that right guard spot in particular. Zai's been a real stable force for us over the last, you know, 20-something games. And when Zai plays like, you know, like he played really well the other night. I thought he bounced back from probably not his strongest performance the first week, and I thought he played well and responded to that. And we're always trying to create depth at all positions, and that was just an opportunity for us to let those guys get their feet wet a little bit there and rest Zai a little bit, and it worked out well.
Anything unique about the Central Michigan defense?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are unique about them. That I think they're, I mean, obviously it doesn't make them unique that they're extremely well coached. That's what you would expect at this level, and they are. They're multiple, and they do a good job of moving around and disguising things in the secondary, and it's a challenging structure to go against. It's I think extremely well coached and vetted, and they know how to play to their strengths and to take away the people they're playing their strengths. And so it'll be a tremendous challenge as we've already moved on from last night, from the previous week, to talking about what's going on this week, because we turned that page late last night, and as a team, and our guys are excited to move on to the challenge here at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
We talked a lot with Pat in the offseason about consistency. He talked to us about that, wanted to improve that. How have you seen that play out through 2 games?
Through Pat in particular? Yeah, Pat's a warrior. I mean, he's everything that's good about college football. And I mean, this guy he's a selfless player that will be willing to block. He feels like a block is just as important as a catch, and that is the truth. And he just exudes that, and we trust and rely on him a lot. But he's worked his way into who he is. You know, he's got natural gifting. He's a big, strong guy that catches the ball well, but he works at it now. He works at his craft. He studies film. He knows the intricacies of the offense, and when he gets a chance to make a play, our whole team knows that he's going to be able to make it. And he's really grown in that area, and he has become the alpha of that room, and he's provided tremendous leadership for us there.
What you see from, you know, things were going well for the offense, then Luke made some huge plays. What would that tell you about him and his progress as, you know, leader of the team?
Yeah, that's the name of the game, right? Is making plays and to make them when the chips are down, when, you know, it's in the fourth quarter, and, you know, you got a 3rd and, you know, 10 or whatever, and a 3rd and 5, and, you know, it wasn't just him. It was our whole that's complementary football at its best, right? I mean, it's like you got to complement your team, and you got to make a play when it presents itself. And a couple of those plays, there wasn't much presented. And he made it right, you know, him and Zakari, and then he threw a check down to Caden and got the first down, and you know, huge plays in the game, obviously, and there was so many of them on all three phases, you know, that were just those really key moments in the game, and you know, fortunately for us, we made more of those than the other team did, and that's what happens when you win those games. But for Luke in particular, I mean, I loved his poise. I loved during the course of the game, even when it wasn't going well for us, like he never flinched. He talked through that. We talked through that. What can we do differently? What are we going to come back with? You know, what he liked, what he didn't like. And we've got I think a good thing going in helping me understand who he is and what he wants and how he plays. And after being with him now for a year and a half, but I was really impressed with his poise in the game the other night, and that's something that we got to have from our quarterback at all times to be the best functioning offense that we can be.
What you see from him in the first 3 quarters from a decision making, same that was just a big conversation we had with you.
For Luke, from decision making through the first 3 quarters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, you know, I thought it was really good. I thought his decision making was really good. You know, we probably had 5 or 6 shot plays called that just, man, I mean, just like it was just not good as far as like the luck. I mean, I don't want to pass it off to luck, but like, you know, we bobbled a snap on one of our shot plays, and we had we had a deep shot coming open that we felt really good about. Another one, we had, you know, a shot play where they brought a pressure that we really hadn't seen, and it came so late that we weren't able to see it, and we had a shot unveiling, you know, down the middle of the field that has a score opportunity. You know, they changed the coverage shell on us one time on a shot, you know, and that's part of the strategic nature to have answers built into that. But like, so the decisions were good. Like, it's just there was some things there that you know, we were just a little disheveled a little bit at times, but I never saw that for a minute rattle Luke at all. But he stayed really poised. But from A to Z, from start to finish, he took care of the ball, you know, in a great way. Against really good corners, never put the ball in jeopardy against a really good passing defense, and it really did his job to the, you know, and he did his job well and what we asked him to do, and ultimately him taking care of the ball was the difference in the game for us because we protected it.
I know you've seen Zakari do this so much, but what's he bring to this team when you have Pat on one side and him on the other side?
Well, I mean, there's really no catch that he makes that surprises me, to be honest with you. I've seen it time and time again, you know. And, you know, I challenged him. I called him last week and just said, hey, man, for us to go win this game, we needed you at your best, you know. And he certainly had some plays that he needs back, and he's got to grow from. Is like, you know, even though he's a 5th-year player or an older player, like there's growing moments. There's things you got to get better at, you know. Putting the ball on the ground and those types of things. He knows that, you know. But like he's got just an innate sense on how to play the position, and he always has. And I think Steph's done a great job with him, and he's really bought into what we're trying to do here. And you know, it's obviously fun to, you know, for any of our receivers to make plays, and in a moment like that, you know, obviously with my history as Zakari, I'm not surprised to see that, but I'm not surprised when I see any of our guys make plays because I see them do it in practice all the time. I mean, that's from Hank Beatty to Ashton to Kapka Jones to Malik. All those guys have a skill set that are going to help us win at some point in time if they hadn't already, you know. But Zakari in particular, he's just got a way of tracking the ball and got big old hands, and he has a tendency to be able to catch balls that some guys can't catch.
Sure, you can add a little bit, but when you have a game that only has 9 possessions and it's just kind of a quick game from that standpoint, as a play caller, does that change what you're trying to get accomplished? Because, guys, I don't know how many times we're going to get the ball after this drive. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it going into the game that was part of the plan, that we wanted to do that. Obviously, we didn't hold up our end of the bargain well enough.
Sure.
You know, now the first drive, I believe, was 13 plays, and the last drive took roughly, you know, I don't know how many plays it was.
15, I think.
Seemed like a lot. There's a lot of play calls involved in that, you know. So that in between, there was a lot of 3 and outs, you know, to where we didn't manage the clock the way we wanted to be able to manage the clock. So, you know, once the flow of the game kind of, it was just, you could kind of see through the first quarter, like that was how the game was going to go, right? I mean, it was just going to be one of those, you look up the scoreboard and there's like 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and I don't remember what the score was at that point, but that was the flow of the game. I've been a part of games otherwise that at that point in the game, it's 31-27, you know, and it's just one of those games. And I do believe games take on those personalities usually, and you can usually tell how they're going to unfold. But for me, nothing shifted. you know, like as far as like, hey, we're right on pace here. We just need to go execute our offense. And I just kept calling it the way we had planned it. And our guys, we just broke through. You know, I put them in a little bit better position. Our guys made some plays and we broke through. And then obviously in the fourth quarter, we're able to, you know, put two good drives together that made the difference in the game as our defense held theirs.
Is there a
Yeah.
challenge in?
Last one here, sorry.
Is there a challenge in calling plays on a drive that lasts 12, 13, 14, 15 plays?
I mean, other than just logistically getting them in, not really, you know. And at that point, it was, you know, we do a lot of preparation during the week, you know, for even like 4-minute situations, which we really kind of shifted into there late in that last drive. I was trying to make sure we were using the clock the best we could and making sure they were going to use their timeouts, you know, and to where when they got the ball back, we wanted to score. You know, we knew a field goal was a big deal there, obviously, and to be able to make it a 6-point game. But so we do a lot of the work ahead of time, if that makes sense, you know. And so in that moment, we were prepared. Coach does a great job of making us think through those things. We talk through those things with him as coordinators on Friday nights, you know, to say, hey, here's what I anticipate doing in this situation, and the game unfolded just like that. So it made it easy because of preparation we had done ahead of time. And doesn't mean it was perfect, but it made it more easily available for me to be able to do.